We are back on Wheel of SNES, episode 15. This game was the Great Circus Mystery, starring Mickey and Minnie. And I've struggled with the title of this game way more than I should.
I struggled with the title of this game more than I did the game itself.
Yes. Fun fact, before we start reading the box, it was also later titled Disney's Magical Quest 2 starring Mickey and Minnie, which I think is a little bit better.
It's a little easier.
But yeah, I don't know why Great Circus Mystery starring Mickey and Minnie. Like, it's just so difficult for me to figure out what the hell I'm saying. So, we will go with what the back of the box says here, Josh. There's quite a bit of dialogue on it.
I mean, it's a Disney, so I'm assuming that there's at least solid 2 to 3 paragraphs.
There's a lot. It's a topsy-turvy world at the circus. Mickey and Minnie plan to spend a fun-filled day at the circus, but to their dismay, all the performers have disappeared. Some unknown forces replace them with crazy characters who are all out to make Mickey and Minnie's day an unpleasant one. And on top of that, Donald Duck and Pluto are nowhere to be seen. As Mickey and Minnie search for clues, the trail leads them beyond the circus. Travel along with our hero and heroine as they explore 6 hasty levels like the haunted house, frozen plains, and the jungle. Use special safari or western outfits to fend off the enemy and to climb through treacherous terrain looking for Donald and Pluto. Hopefully along the way, the happenings at the circus will begin to make sense. And then they also had a couple bullet points. It says, the cunning investigative skill of both Mickey and Minnie will surely solve the Great Circus Mystery. Search for clues to the mystery and find some bonus areas in 6 uniquely Disney levels. Non-violent fun for the entire family. And 1 or 2 player simultaneous action at the circus.
Okay.
So
solid back of the box reading.
I don't understand why the circus is the place they want to go. I guess you got to go somewhere. Why not? I kind of... When you say Mickey and Minnie and, Pluto and Donald, I do have to confess that the circus isn't exactly where I expect to go to the circus. You win like the knockoff Mickey Mouse. It kind of like has one eye higher than the other. So, I mean, that could just be some Tennessee circuses and fairs too.
He's not even a mouse. He's a rat.
Yeah, I feel like a carny would get a hold of one of these guys. Next thing you know, they're like chain smoking cigarettes in the back of like. So I did find it was a little strange when they were going to the circus, but
it was. But also at the day and age, I guess circuses were still a really big entertainment value. So
game was released in '94. This was the second of the series, I guess, really coming out. This game was published and developed by Capcom, so we all know that. Was released for the Super Nintendo, the Genesis, and the Game Boy Advance. Like I say, they changed the name of it later on to Disney's Magical Quest 2, starring Mickey and Minnie. And really about the only thing that was more groundbreaking from the first game that I haven't played was that they made Minnie a playable character in this one. In which, I don't think it gave you an option, did it, Josh, when you started to pick Minnie? It was just, she was like this. It did?
If you went to the options menu, you could have chose Mickey or Minnie.
So, if not, you could jump in as the second player co-op, which I didn't play the co-op, but it's kind of cool that you could.
We could have. I mean, we played the first, 2 stages together? Yeah. As we were doing the dialogue with all the characters.
We basically just didn't put 2 controllers in.
No, we didn't.
And I forgot about us reading the dialogue. I can't remember. I think you read the Minnie Mouse dialogue, didn't you? And I read Mickey. I done forgot about that. But anyways, so the game is basically a platformer. It's a Capcom game, so you kind of have high hopes. I didn't know it was a Capcom game before we played it. I'd never played this game before. Had you, Josh?
No, I have not. But I'll go ahead and just say this about one of the reasons why I enjoyed this game so much is it was Capcom. It was actually people that I know, and it was true to its name. It was a Capcom game. The only thing that it didn't have was your instant kill spots. That is all over Mega Man.
So this game basically, it starts you out, and it's a platformer, and it starts out and you're just Mickey Mouse and basically or Minnie. You can jump on, basic enemies, and you actually kind of pick them up kind of like Mario style, and you can chuck them at other enemies or take off running, whatever. And as you progress through the game, you gain extra suits, which one of them was I don't know if it's really a suit. You've picked up a vacuum cleaner. You could suck enemies up.
Yeah.
You had a safari suit later on. I guess that's what they called
it. No, it was a mountain climber.
Well, okay. I don't know. I guess it was a mountain climber.
Because that's all you could do was climb shit.
So basically you had two, I know what you did last summer, hooks.
Yeah.
And you basically just went spider monkey, climbing walls, swinging stuff. And then later on you could get the little... What you call them? Stick horses? I don't know what you call them.
It was a stick horse.
And you basically go out as, I guess, a Wild West.
Yeah,
Mickey
you
Mouse.
get like a little pop gun.
Yeah. So you and you move through the game, and you could play the game different ways. But each suit or each Mickey, how you want to phrase it, they had their own strengths, and some of it you couldn't beat unless you were that specific Mickey. And then some, you could go about it 2 or 3 different ways. Graphics look good. Controls were pretty responsive. I mean, I'd say when you're talking about Capcom and then you're talking Disney money, even though that I don't think Disney, I ain't going to say that they weren't as controlling, but, when back in 94, they're not going to put out I feel like they're not going to put out a bad product. So when you say, hey, we got Capcom and Disney, even if the game isn't something that I would care for or not, the fundamentals I think are going to be strong in that, like your graphics, your music, your controls. So it wasn't like the controls were, I mean, they were pretty crisp in my opinion.
They were really crisp.
I'll tell you what this game reminded me a lot of. It reminded me a lot of Mr. Nuts. And
it was fast paced, which I liked. It wasn't slow. Mr. Nuts was just slow. Because you had a sprint button.
Yep.
That didn't sprint. It just made you jump farther.
Yeah, that is true. So, and the game is really just that. It's just a platformer. It's got good controls, and I guess that's all I really have to preface. I can talk today. What this game is there anything that I've missed out on this, Josh? Any details that I've really...
No, well, the only detail is, the back of the box says that they're looking for Donald and Pluto.
Yeah.
Well, no, Goofy, man.
Yeah, that's...
They leave out Goofy.
You're right. And I guess I missed the whole point of the game is, like the back of the box says, they're going to the circus. Everybody's going from the circus. And then one thing leads to another. And as they're looking for their friends, they go across all these different levels. Not a big, strong storyline going here.
No, but you find Donald in the first section.
Well, I will say, too, that as it opens up, it kind of, it shows you the 6 worlds as your guy moves between them. I guess that was kind of cool.
It was.
It didn't really matter a whole lot. It's not like you could travel back worlds or whatever.
No.
But you could see your progress through the game through the 6 levels. And I would say each one of them levels were divided up into like basically 2 bosses.
Roughly.
Yeah, somewhat.
Roughly.
Maybe one had a 3rd boss, maybe one had one, but you kind of got to a spot where you could kill a boss, and then you had another one.
Yeah, continue the story, and then you beat the main stage boss.
So I guess we'll just jump into what makes and breaks the game. If you ain't got anything else to add, Josh.
No, like I said, that was my biggest concern. Is like they're looking for Donald and Pluto. All right, I mean, you do see Goofy in the first thing. He's telling you that he's leaving the circus because it's pretty much bullshit. But, I mean, you find Donald in the first one. He gives you your first suit. You don't see him again.
There you go.
Yeah, you see Pluto at stage 3 whenever they give you your second suit. You don't see him again. So, technically, to me, the story ends because you found your 2 friends.
Well, I don't think you're probably buying this game to think the storyline. You're
not. But
you're doing this get kids shut the hell up.
You are, but I mean, back in the box says that you're looking for Donald and Pluto. Story ended. You found them.
So we're going to end that and go on into what makes this game. And a lot of what I like about this game doesn't even have to do with the gameplay. First thing is familiar characters. It's Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse. What else? Donald, Pluto. We're griping because he ain't got Goofy. I think that's probably what they want. I mean, they put even what was the first boss like that, Fox or whatever.
Yeah,
Wolf. Looked like from Robin Hood or whatever. And you had Bluto or Pete or whatever they're calling him nowadays.
It used to be Pete, but I don't know if he's still Pete or not.
So the characters, even though there's not a strong story and stuff, you still have, if you like Mickey Mouse, you're going to say, oh man, I want to play as Mickey Mouse. I would imagine if you're a little girl, you're probably like, oh, I want to play as Minnie Mouse.
Yeah, you finally get the option to play.
I imagine if you're two boys that are sitting there playing co-op, you're going to make fun of the young guy that's got to probably play as a Minnie Mouse.
Who has to play number, it has to be the second player.
So, I mean, you had the familiar characters. I don't think that, the bosses kind of, some of them had, familiarity to them. The rest of the enemies, I think, maybe loosely, when you're climbing through the trees, maybe that snake kind of resembles Caw a little bit.
Yeah.
But, the normal enemies are just kind of like snails and slugs and hedgehogs and icicles and candles. Nothing that's, really screams Disney. But
the candles were the worst.
And I think probably a lot of that is probably by design because another thing that I put in, well, I'll come back around to some of the character design and why I think some of the characters, just the normal stage enemies, weren't familiar. I kind of have a
theory,
yes. There's no fact to it. It's just something I thought up. And it makes sense to me, but it could be garbage. Second thing is you got a 2-player co-op.
Yeah.
Didn't play it, but I would imagine that it plays just the same.
Yeah, it looked to be solid.
The only thing I would wonder that I don't know is when one person travels faster than the other, does it lock the screen where they've got to come across? Does it pull them up and it kill them as you're like going up? Does, I'm sure it's not split screen.
No.
It would blow my mind if it was. So, I mean, just having an option of 2-player co-op, which I don't think really a whole lot of games had then. Probably not really a whole lot of them.
Well, a lot of games, they were 2 players, but they weren't traditional co-ops.
Right.
One player would play, and then the second player would repeat the level or a different level. My biggest question on the co-op thing was, do you share the same amount of lives?
I don't think so. Because up at the top, you'll see... I'm wondering how the continue works with this. Just because it kind of looked like classic arcade where it's a wait for player 2. I'm wondering if you died completely out.
You just hit continue.
I think it... I don't know. I think it probably would hold you. And I don't know. Like say neither one of us played the co-op. I would think that it's going to make you wait until the end when you beat the boss or when both of you die. I could be wrong.
Could be. I don't know.
But, another thing that's really kind of, it does, involve the gameplay in it, but this game's exactly what you think it is. It's a Capcom game. You got Disney characters in it, and it's a platformer. And, it's, in my opinion, pretty good platform.
Yeah, you have a little bit of shooter in there.
Yeah, I mean... This isn't no world beater as far as platformers. I'm not going to be like, oh, this is the best platformer in the world. But it was pretty good. Yeah, we played worse.
We're saving the world builder for like Mega Man X.
Well, coming right back into the next thing. I kind of felt like, now I ain't going to say it's maybe, first thing that came to my head, and I may be wrong, is I did kind of get a Mega Man vibe just changing suits. And that was one thing that was cool.
100%.
So you got your suits. You got your normal Mickey, which I didn't use really after the first level.
No.
You had the vacuum. You had the mountain climber, the hook.
Yeah.
The hooker Mickey.
The hooker Mickey.
And then you had the cowboy Mickey. And I'll go ahead and tell you, in the ranking of them, that hooker Mickey is, that was the guy right there.
He was by far even though you couldn't attack.
No.
But he got you through shit that you just could avoid everything.
But
my least favorite,
that
honestly,
damn cowboy.
Cowboy.
I hated that cowboy. So it was like it was a cowboy on a pogo stick.
And you constantly jumped.
Yeah, you either like held the button down and he constantly jumped high, or he just did bunny hops. When you hit the button, you hoped in the next 5 seconds he would randomly jump high.
Yeah.
And I didn't really understand either. When you shot with him, sometimes he would flash colors.
Yeah.
I don't know what that was really about. I guess
I did. It was a charge attack.
Oh, I did not know that was a thing.
If you held Capcom, man, I mean, come on, Mega Man has a charge attack.
But not only could you just say, "Hey, I'm going to change suits," you could change suits as many times as you wanted, back and forth. And even as the game went on, I think the last stage, I ended up running out of charges on the gun for the Cowboy Mickey, and I had to switch over to another Mickey because I didn't have the
energy.
Yeah, but the other guns I had or whatever did, even though it really didn't matter at that point. It was just hopping on heads, and that was typically how you beat all the bosses.
Yeah.
There was a few that, you could shoot instead of hop on their heads. But just being able to switch back and forth from the suits, sometimes I felt like that was probably the clunkiest part of the controls, though, was sometimes I felt like I could hit that circle button. You use the L and R to cycle, I think it was, between them, and you hit the circle button to change. And sometimes I felt like hitting that circle button when one time it would be immediate and he'd change suits. And it was kind of funny when he changed suit. It would put up a curtain, because we're talking Mickey Mouse and Disney here. A little curtain.
Has to be modest.
I mean, it looked like, I guess it really looked like a shower curtain.
It was a shower curtain.
And then he would come back out. It'd be like a puff of smoke or whatever, and he'd come back out in his next outfit. And sometimes it felt like it would take 2 or 3 seconds of constantly hitting the button. But I think it was very smart the way they did that. And I ain't going to say that it was Mega Man spot on, but it kind of had that vibe to it. Hey, I may have to switch between different Mickeys multiple times.
Yeah.
What else do you have, Josh?
Yeah,
I know you're going to talk about the graphics. The graphics were pretty good in it.
Graphics were great, honestly. Like I said, for the 94, this was a solid graphic game, and that's where I'm bringing it back to the whole Capcom thing. As far as I know, every Capcom game I've ever played, graphic-wise, it's always pleasing. Same with the music. Same with the sound effects. It's always still pleasing to me with the Capcom.
Now, there's one thing. Capcom's always got good music, and I will tell you, when I heard the first bit of music, was not a fan of it. And then so the music itself I thought was weak to me, but the levels weren't long enough for it to get annoying. So at the same time, I'm like, even though I don't think this was their strongest use of the music, the way they used the game, it was unnoticeable. And so I have the music down. The actual music itself was a negative for me. But being able to know that I didn't care for the music, but I didn't really notice this music as I went through it, I'm like, I think it's a positive now. Like, they knew what they were doing.
See, that's where I think of it as far as a Disney Capcom game. Disney wanted you to be more pleased because, last week we played True Lies.
Right.
Right? And there was a huge, clunky Arnold running around. You wouldn't know that if you never watched the movie.
That's true.
So they put all their budget into the pictures, into the sprites in there to make sure they looked at who they were, because there wasn't a single time where I saw one of the sprites and you know what? That doesn't really look like Donald, Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Pluto, Pete, whatever you want to call them. You could always tell. So I think that's where that was. And the music-wise goes, I don't think they wanted to actually overpower the Disney-esque theme. So they kept it light, they kept it more whimsical than what it should have been.
And you may be right, because like I say, I was just like, this isn't Capcom music to me. But
no.
But at the same time, it was like, thank God I didn't have to, like, if you were playing like Mr. Nuts, the levels were so huge. I could only imagine listening to 15 minutes of 3 stages of this damn circus music. It would drive me nuts.
Yeah.
And none of it was that bad. I mean, I guess the game progressed along pretty quickly. Another thing that I've got 2 or 3 more things that I thought did real well. One of them was you had like 3 lives and then some hearts. I did appreciate that you could actually upgrade your hearts as you went through there. Because you started out, I think, with 3 hearts, maybe 4.
3.
And it kind of like Zelda, but instead of picking up partial hearts, you're picking up full hearts, like depending on where you're going to find these.
How long did it take for you to find a hidden door?
I found the first one pretty early on. Hidden doors going to come back to this shot.
Okay.
So the one thing that I did like is, even though you had 3 lives, when you died, it spawned you immediately where you were at. So if you're in the middle of a boss fight and you almost beat him and he kills you, you don't have to start over from the start of the stage. If you got 2 more lives, you start over right there fighting that same boss.
Complete positive on that side, because Mega Man doesn't do that shit for you.
No, you're going to have to struggle to get back. But then
they put you back to before the boss battle,
right?
And the boss is full health.
So this you essentially had as many continues and lives as you wanted.
Unlimited continue.
So I mean, you had 3 lives. You use a continue, but so I mean, as a kid's game, I would say if I played through this game and I could beat it, if you said, "Hey, can you beat it with 2 continues?" I probably couldn't.
Oh no.
But without practicing and getting really good at it and learning like some of the stuff, but you can really, with just determination, push through it.
Or maybe the younger years, whenever your reflexes are crisp,
back when you could play Mega Man.
Back whenever you could play Mega Man,
Well, I'll say that it was like literally if you just had the time to play, but it didn't feel like you were nerfing the game either. I mean,
no, it was still just as challenging.
Yeah, and some of the stuff, they had the normal, easy, hard mode, and then they had a password system, and that was fine too. But I felt like if I was going to sit down and play this game, I wanted to beat it in one setting. I appreciated the options, but I just wanted to play it on normal mode and go through. And I just like that I can enjoy this game and not stress out too bad, because then even when I die or I continue, it doesn't start me back at the very start of a stage. It starts me relatively close to the boss battle. I think that's the kids aspect of it. Well, is because, like, say, if this game started you like Mega Man, could you imagine being a young kid wanting to play Mickey and Minnie at a damn circus and you'd hate Mickey and Minnie by the end of this.
You despise Disney. Well, I did test that theory, which was great. I died after I completed the first boss battle of a stage.
Okay.
So I was just wanting to see what would happen. So I didn't make it to the second boss, the end stage boss. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. Let's see what happens. I died all my lives, hit a continue, started you right back after that boss.
Okay.
So it did not reset the entire level process, which is what you would assume if you lost 3 lives and hit a continue. So again, that made it extremely kid-friendly. Now, maybe if you went into the difficulties and turned it up to a different level, maybe that would have got rid of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I played it on normal. I didn't venture out of any of that.
I didn't either.
Now, let's talk about the secret rooms. So, I will tell you, I did appreciate the damn secret rooms. The first one I went into just gave me some coins or some crap. Yeah. I don't care about no coins. I think I went into another one by accident. And each one, it was like you opened it up different. Like you used your hooker Mickey to pull it if it had like a tab on it. I think the vacuum Mickey, whatever, it was fine. I didn't really care for the gimmick of it, trying to open the boxes as much as, then I opened, so I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, these are going to be some lame secret rooms. Why the hell would I want to go here? And like the second or third one I went to, it gave me a freaking heart. And I'm like, thank you for actually making a secret room that matters, or an extra life. Now, you never knew. Sometimes it was just apples. And I'm like, what the hell do these apples do? They didn't do a damn thing. I don't think they gave you score.
They gave you points.
So it's like, there was times where I seen a secret room and it's like, do I really need to go to that secret room? Because it's probably about a 25% chance that I get a badass heart and like a 75% chance I get health or something. And so I did pass on a lot. But when I seen them, I did appreciate them. And as the game went on, I was kicking my own ass about not giving a damn about these coins. because it was like a little shop set up in there.
Shop started popping
and I'm
up.
like, oh, great. I can't even afford the cheapest damn thing in here because I ain't got no damn coins. Which may have been because I really kind of quit on the vacuum Mickey.
That was his whole purpose.
Yes, and so later on in hindsight, I would probably use the hell out of
I
damn
agree.
vacuum Mickey a little more.
I agree 100%. It irritated me so much. It's because the first one I found, like I said, it was like apples or coins. It might have even been gold coins.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, cool. Like, it's a point system. Not really worried about it. Second one I went into, it re-gave you some health. I'm like, okay, I can get down with that one every
And
now.
I don't know if each room, if they were like predetermined or if it's just random.
I don't
know that.
And then the third one I went into was a heart container. So I got 4 hearts. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. Fifth one, shop. And I'm like, the fuck are you?
Now, maybe should I did more research beforehand or actually took my time as I was hammering through here. It would have probably made more sense, but by the time I realized it, I'm already on like stage 4, maybe stage 5, and I'm like, I'm hammering on through. We just going without. Like my childhood, we just doing without, as Dad said.
I got unlimited continues. Doesn't matter.
That's right. That is absolutely right.
And then on top of that, like I said, I didn't use the vacuum Mickey all that much. And he made sense later on in the game, 100%.
Well, I've got him in my dislike of vacuum Mickey.
I do too. Don't worry. But like I said, it made sense a little later. Could gave it a little something. But at the same time, like, what were the odds of you, like I said, you're going without. You're just hammering through. If you used to continue, you lost all your coins. So some of the prices of those things.
Yeah, I know the heart was like 200 coins. Like the heart container, I guess.
Yeah, at least cut your coins in half. Or, by chance, I mean, they could have said I did smash through a lot of the dialogue. So. Well,
and once again, now hindsight, now I think of it, because I'm sitting here like, who in the hell would spend their coins to use half the power on your vacuum cleaner or your gun? And then I get to the final boss battle, and I run out of, and I'm like, huh. Like now that, and I'm just now realizing this, so I guess I'm the dumbass. This kid's game has outsmarted me,
Touche,
yeah,
Disney, touche.
So I've got one more thing, and this is going to lead into my conspiracy theory or just
I'm all for it.
My old dumb thoughts about it.
I'm all for it.
So on the back of these games, it's going to tell you, how many times like True Lies, nonstop action, and it's cool if it is nonstop action.
Yep.
Like Dracula's like, you're going to fight through these intriguing levels. These damn levels weren't intriguing; they sucked. So it's like I have a little more appreciation. It's a
true Capcom.
Do as you say.
Yeah.
And so there's one thing that they put on the back of this box that I think resonated. That when I was reading it, it just said, let me find it here. Non-violent fun for the entire family. Well, you don't really think about it as you're going down through here mowing these enemies down, but essentially when you are playing, I mean, there's some like the candle, like later in the game, you use the vacuum cleaner, you can pull the flame off them, and then he just kind of sits there like a candle. You don't really kill any. I mean, you got ghosts, and I think there's one like you could vacuum and it was literally a skeleton. So maybe that's the close to actually killing something there really is. But like when you got the boss, it wasn't like they just flipped over with X's on their eyes
or blew up like Mega Man.
So at the same time, I feel like it wasn't violent. Even though you were defeating the enemies, I didn't feel it wasn't like Contra. It wasn't like True Lies where you're just murdering everybody you ever seen.
It wasn't like Mega Man killing until they blow up.
So, and I did appreciate that because I'm like, yeah, that could be a game. Like, I would have no problem. I don't care how strict or involved in your children's lives against any of the violence video games. I think any kid could play this game. Like, you're not going to say this has ruined any, that you're not going to, this ain't like Call of Duty. This isn't Grand Theft Auto where you got to monitor. You just let the kids go with this game. And I think that's what they were playing to. But then, I think maybe it's not like you're killing the enemies. It's almost like you're just harming them. And I think that's why the only noticeable characters were the bosses. Because I don't think anybody would want to see, just hypothetically, if Donald was there. I don't think a character that you have a relationship with, or I don't think you want to see them bounce off the screen or to get picked up by Mickey and thrown at somebody else. And so I think that's why we got a lot of snails. Them flying squirrels, them were bitches.
Those were assholes.
And I think that's why you got kind of some generic enemies, because you didn't care about these enemies.
Because how hard would it have been the candles, Lumiere? You could have put him in there. You could have been snuffing out Lumiere's flames.
I think kids would probably hate that, Yeah. So I think that's why.
The flying squirrels, Chip and Dale. But also at the same time, they were assholes too, so that makes more sense.
I think that is why the normal, I guess, grunt enemies in this had, really looked like generic enemies. I mean, they looked good. It wasn't like they were poorly drawn. But I think that's why you just got generic ice crystals or...
generic hedgehog, which would have been funny if he was blue.
I think maybe one of Pete's kids or water getting shot out of a cannon was literally the only normal stage enemy I recognized, other than possibly Caw. And I don't even know. Even though he did damage, I think he kind of just used him as a...
Yeah, but Caw was an asshole.
Yeah, and so I think that's my opinion to why there isn't recognizable enemies or... using Goofy or fighting between the characters is just because literally, everything, I can't even really tell you how many villains there necessarily would be in a Mickey Mouse game. I know Disney's got Maleficent and all these folks, but pretty much Pete or Bluto, whatever the hell you want to call him, he's the big baddie. Everything's got to revolve around him.
He will always be Pete to me.
Yes.
He will always be Pete.
So that was my theory. Is I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm like, how come we don't recognize any of the normal the normal stage characters? And I'm like, I don't think they wanted you to, because you have no
attachment.
Yeah, there's no attachment, so nobody cares that this dang little snail, you just pulled his skin off and he's a skeleton or whatever, even though he's still running around, or these ghosts.
Because how hard would it have been for them to put in the jungle sequence? You could have chose
Shere Khan. It was Shere Khan, right? I don't know.
The tiger, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking more along the monkeys.
Oh, yeah.
Could have put them. You could have put the monkey. You could put Abu from Aladdin in there. Like I said, they had a ton of chances to throw in anything. But I agree with you. I think it was just for the fact that, do you really want to bitch slap Abu?
Well, maybe.
Personally, I would.
Well, No comment.
Personally,
comment.
I would, because he's an asshole, but...
All right. You have anything else you want to add on what makes the game?
No, I think we covered it. So I appreciate your conspiracy theory.
Well, I think that's probably it. And it probably can't be. It might not be it. But, Disney's got money. I don't think that anything is done by accident by them. So, I may be wrong, but there's probably a reason for it.
Yeah, everything's well thought out by Disney.
So, we're going to hop over to what breaks this game then. And I don't have a whole lot on what breaks the game. Like I say, I don't know how much this game costs to make, but I'm sure between Capcom and Disney... they're probably money's not an issue.
Exactly. I agree with that.
I don't think they're going to go out there and say, we're going to make a $1 billion Super Nintendo game. They'd say, kiss my ass. But at the same time...
Was $1 billion even...
I don't even know if that was a thing back then. But I don't think if somebody says, hey, literally $5,000 is what's holding back a development on this part of the game, any one of the companies would eat the $5,000 to make a good game. So, but I do think that what I do have bad for it, I'm going to go, I guess, in my ranking of what sucked the less to what sucked the most, because I have two that was kind of minor sucks, and then there's two major sucks.
Okay.
So,
suck away.
4 sucks. I'm just going to go ahead and say the story of this game sucked.
I agree.
Now, that's probably like watching a damn Disney cartoon. It's one thing when you're watching, the movies, but it's probably and I don't know because I ain't got kids. It's probably like watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse and critiquing the plot of the show.
100%, sir.
So
100%.
That probably sucks the least amount for me, but I'm just sitting here and I'm like, dear God, I don't even know. It's I don't care about the story of this. It's the game itself definitely was way better than the story. I think the story was probably one of the worst parts, like the cores of the game.
Again, Fox says Mickey's looking for Donald and Pluto. You found them.
So
mission over.
So that's just the little suck.
That's a little suck.
The one that sucks a little more is the game is super short. I wouldn't even really say, I guess let me rephrase that. I don't think the game was really that short. The levels were super short.
The levels were.
So, and I don't want to complain because I think one of my big, well, I am going to complain, but like Mr. Nuts, I felt like the levels were too long. So it's like, if you could take Mr. Nuts and this game and find that happy medium, that's your Goldilocks zone. I think, because there were some of these levels, I don't even know if I killed an enemy. And I get it, especially the early on ones. Man, you could walk through these levels in like no freaking
yeah.
time. And that was cool because, I mean, especially as you were going on, it was like, by the time I got to level 5, level 6, I was pretty well done with the game, but I felt like I was committed at that point. Like,
but also,
I didn't think there was going to be any revelation in the game that I hadn't already seen. But I'm like, I'm at level 5. I got to beat this damn game.
There's one more level left.
Yes, that's exactly
you
it.
got to.
And so at least it wasn't like I was spending an hour on each level trying to get through.
Yeah.
But yeah, the game was super short. The levels were super short.
They were. Now, one of my negatives on this is, I don't know if it's on yours or not, but it's just a major pet peeve for me.
I think you're going to say my other two sucks. I know this is going to be, it has to be one of them. So I don't know which one of the last two sucks is the worst. So whatever you name, I'm going to make that my next last suck.
Okay, well, this one here, I don't think it's on your list because I think I'm going to catch you completely out of left field. Hooker Mickey needed an attack.
Yeah.
Because going through the jungle, having to wait for these stupid snails to get out of your way.
Yeah, those snails climbing the wall with spikes on them is like...
And also, how do you avoid the flying squirrels?
Well, I did see roughly when we get to the speed run, there's... I'm just going to... I seen a picture of Lee Hulk. He was doing a tutorial on a speed run. He avoided them all, but I think he just knew where the damn squirrels were coming from.
See, and okay, that's cool if you took the time to research this.
Yes.
But besides that, no. Hooker Mickey, like you said, he had 2 hooks. Throw them. They're on a rope. You know, give me a little action. Give me something.
Well, and I don't know. I mean, there were things. Another thing with Hooker Mickey that was bad was sometimes when you hit those little hinges, he didn't click onto them. It was almost like you had to undershoot them.
Yeah,
instead of like landing on them. But at the same time, there was a lot of times where Hooker Mickey was. I'm just sitting here thinking Disney's. Not that they'll ever hear this, but they'll probably come after everything we ever own for calling Mickey a hooker. But yeah, Hooker Mickey was definitely pretty overpowered. So I'm with you. If he had like a scorpion hooker move,
yeah.
Now he was probably already broken. He probably needed nerfed down a little bit. But at the same time, if you're going to continue to make folks want to switch. Now, when you switched into the game, it wasn't like you switched 15 times per level. It was maybe once or twice.
Yeah, twice.
If you were trying something.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I guess if they were going to make it to where you switch more, they would have to have fixed that whole delay, non-delay in changing outfits. That was pretty bad.
And let's just keep rolling on that one. Because that's another part of mine, too. I don't know if it's on yours or not.
What, the switching outfits?
The switching.
Well, you know, I would say that's a big deal. And then sometimes you'd push it and it would go immediately.
I figured it out. You know the best way to do it? Hold the fucking button.
Well, you know what? There's 2 things that are broken that have the correct way of fixing it. You're right. You might hit the button and it goes immediately. You might hold the button and 3 seconds later you change outfits after you're taking damage. The same as that damn Cowboy Mickey. That I could have dealt without Cowboy Mickey. You hold the button down, he just constantly bounces up high. You let go of that button, and he's just hopping low, like a little hop along Cassidy. You hit that button, sometimes he pops up high. Sometimes he sits there like a freaking idiot. And you're sitting there trying to shoot freaking Pete out of that damn library in the picture frame.
That was the worst!
No, that was not the worst. It was the second worst. I've got a bone to pick with one of these bosses. I've got a bone. All right, so...
But yeah, so no, like I said, the whole changing of it, like I said, cool concept. Really cool concept. Why not do it like Mega Man does? Hit your L and R buttons, and once you decide, like, okay, I want Cowboy Mickey, auto switches.
Yep.
I want Vacuum Mickey, auto switches.
I think you were probably better off to hit the start button and then switch them.
Yeah.
And I think that would have been fine, and you could actually maybe, if you're sitting there playing co-op, maybe if you're playing and your buddy's watching like we were, maybe when you're sitting there like, oh, I don't know how to beat this guy. It's got to be the Vacuum Mickey, right?
Yeah.
And maybe there's a little dog. I don't know. I mean, maybe we're splitting hairs there, but them controls on Cowboy Mickey and switching outfits did suck.
Absolutely, I think were the worst.
So I had one.
I think that was the worst part of the game for me, was just that aspect.
These last two they're bad for me. I had it marked down in here that the bosses weren't too tough. Yeah, I probably beat as many as I died the first time I played them. Like the ape. I used O Hooker Mickey, climbed the walls, and it wasn't too bad. But then there was some of them, like that damn turtle. That was way tougher for me than I thought it would be, just because I was always getting hit.
The turtle wasn't hard.
Well, but I'm like, none of these bosses are overpowered. None of them are really bothering me. I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, I can enjoy playing these, and a kid could, until I got to the damn cloud boss, and I fucking hated him. I hated that cloud boss with the passion. I didn't like, hey, I get it. If I get too close, hit me with some lightning bolts. Freeze me. But for the love of God, I can't break out of this ice until I get hit by a damn lightning bolt. Sometimes you couldn't
You can.
What?
Yes.
How do you get out of the ice?
Smash buttons, man. It turns into a button smasher at that point.
I mashed buttons the whole time.
No, you smash B. I think you smash B the entire time. It's what activates your weapon.
Well, let me talk about the next thing.
Or it might be the jump button. It's one of the two.
Well, however, this game just now made me feel stupid because I mashed buttons and I didn't get out of this damn thing. So as this damn cloud boss, as I'm over here trying to suck him off with the damn vacuum cleaner.
with sucking Mickey.
Yes. Then I get frozen, and then I'm waiting to get shot with a damn lightning bolt, in which the damn cloud can't hit me with the lightning bolt. Makes more sense now, but it pissed me off. I hated that damn boss, and nothing changes it. Whether I'm an idiot or not, nothing changes that. I hit buttons like a fool, and I couldn't do it. Maybe I was hitting the wrong damn buttons. I had to be. But literally, I just sat there as an ice cube as this cloud gathered his gusto, and it was just like a non-stop suck off. It was like every time I would get close to sucking him off, I would get frozen, and then I'd have to start all over again. I felt like it was Fluffer Mickey over there.
It was the ultimate suck off, is what that match was.
At that point, I almost turned the game off. I'm like, I'm done with this game. I don't want to finish it. But after I sucked off the cloud guy, I'm like,
I'm invested now.
After I sucked him off, I'm going for completion.
Yep. After you pulled it out, you're like, nope, this is it. I'm too committed now.
All right, so Cloud Boss is my second worst. Now, he may be my first worst, because now he made me feel like an idiot.
Say, Painting Pete was my worst, because he was
He did suck.
And it wasn't because it was...
I felt like the whole fighting mechanic sucked.
Like I said, you could hit him, you could shoot him, you could jump on his head, but those fucking bullets.
Sometimes you could hit him. Sometimes I used Cowboy Mickey.
I used him too, but sometimes 9 times out of 10, I was sacrificing my own life to shoot him once.
Yep,
and I'm like, okay.
I knew if I got in there and I had like 1 life and 1 heart, I have no shot of beating him. I need full lives going in.
You need all 3 lives and at least 3 hearts.
Pretty similar to the last Pete was. It was kind of the same thing. By the time I done wasted all my gun ammo, you're just hopping on his head, so it's just a matter of outlasting the hit.
Yeah.
Oh, I got hit, and I will say it did give you a pretty generous invincibility. And so you got hit.
Iframes,
you better go jump on him immediately.
The iframes were really, really charitable.
I feel like on any of those bosses, the moment you got hit, you could get a hit. You could get 1 hit back on him.
Yeah.
Now at the same time, if you hit those bosses, they had that same time frame. So it's like don't get greedy. Hit them once, and get the hell out.
Yep. I agree with that.
Do you have anything else, Josh, or you want me to tell you what sucked the worst
I
about this
want
whole
you to tell
game?
me what sucked the worst.
The damn text boxes in these games. At least at the start, like at first when we were reading through them, I didn't know I couldn't fast forward through. But some of them later on, you couldn't fast forward through.
Yeah, you had to suffer.
So it's like, hey, this game isn't got a strong story, and that's cool. I don't care. You know, I still have fun playing this game. But dear God, give me a skip button. I don't care what this ghost has to say to me as he gives me these damn outfits.
It's not even a skip button. Make it to where I hold a button and the text goes faster.
And it does in certain points. But then there's ones that don't.
But the main storyline, they're like, no, asshole, you're reading all this.
Yes, that part was I could not stand
You're a
it.
child. We're helping you develop.
If I was learning to read and I'm sounding it out, I'm probably enjoying the shit out of this. Like, I don't care about the story. I'm just enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I know how to read for the most part. Apparently, I don't know how to break out of an ice cube, but I know how to read. And I did not enjoy any of the text boxes. I wish that it just literally told you the story on the back of this and didn't just let you play.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. Hey, here's a suit. Hit circle or A to change suits. You know, this helps you suck things off. Or, hey, hooker Mickey over here. Or
it's only
vice
good
versa.
for climbing.
Yes. So
actually, if I think about it, I think the way you broke out of the ice is you had to move back and forth.
Either way, I didn't get out no damn ice. I had to get shot by lightning bolts, Josh, and it sucked. It was not enjoyable. There were times where he literally went through like cycle of shooting snowflakes at me, flying over me, shooting lightning bolts, missing, moving, shooting lightning bolts, missing. Mind you, this cloud's red. He's almost dead. Oh, disappears, shoots more freaking snowflakes. Lightning bolts hits me. He's a big damn cloud by the time I get out of this damn thing.
So you're reset.
Yes, I'm starting from scratch. Yeah, don't want to revisit this anymore. It's laid to rest. Laid to rest. I can't. I bet there's some retarded kid that couldn't figure this out either.
It's fucking funny, is what it is.
I'm done with. This game's dropping as I'm talking about it. I was thinking highly of it.
It's moving lower and lower on your list.
And Untouchables down there at 14. I don't know.
If I keep bringing up the cloud guy, it's going to be number 15. They're just getting heated.
Do you have anything you want to add on what you didn't like about this?
No. It was a solid game. Especially because it was made by Capcom.
It was a good game.
And that's saying something to Capcom. Is Capcom, it's like we always say, you know, there's that Goldilocks moment. There's that groove that you find and you stay in it. And Capcom found that groove early on and they just repeat that same groove on every game they've ever made. And it fucking works.
I've always heard the people, I remember when Halo came out and it was so big and they literally this game is 15 seconds long, 10 to 15 seconds. We took 10 to 15 seconds of fun. And we just repeated it through the whole game, and that's one that I don't agree. I don't agree with that 100%. But yeah, and this game, I probably would have had a different opinion about it being. I was really okay just trying to power through this game in the later levels of it being short. Back in the day, if I was playing it, I would have probably been upset that the level wasn't any longer. But for what it was today's game, I knew going into this we weren't going to play a top 100 game. Not that I know of now. I may be completely wrong on this as it goes on. But I was fine with it. It was a good game. It was a good game.
It was. That's a solid game. Solid game. I personally enjoyed it. By far, I think this had literally the less negatives out of all of them.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of, the negatives were probably nitpicky, I mean, we're talking text boxes and bosses I don't know how to fight and that such. And I really did. I had that the music sucked, but the levels were so short, it didn't sit there.
It didn't get
and the way the continues went, even when I died, I wasn't just sitting there spending hours on a level that I couldn't beat listening to stupid music.
What's that? For a kid's game? It was a kid's game.
It was a kid's game. As an adult game, it was okay. I bet you can sit there and play it. And, I don't know if I'd sit there and play it by myself and just be like, enthralled in it, but if I'm like,
That's
hey, dude, I can get farther than you. Like, I feel like if there was two people playing, and I feel like the co-op, I hate to speak on it because we didn't play it, that would have probably added to it.
Yeah, and I'm not going to lie. You know, I beat this game in roughly 2 hours.
I would say I probably was about the same time frame.
Let's say you can read, you can't speak.
I can't. Maybe I need to do the counting with numbers or whatever, but speaking with the Muppets, whatever. I don't know. But it was a good game. I didn't have any fun facts for this one, Josh.
You can pull up any fun fact.
Well, I didn't want to get...
It's Disney.
I didn't want to get too big into the Disney.
You don't want to fall down the Disney conspiracy theory?
It all ends up at the same place. It's the water park where the kid drowned and now it's abandoned, but now there's like alligators and people break into it. You're looking at me funny. You ain't ever heard of this.
No, I've heard that.
I've been farther down this rabbit hole than anybody.
I hear that, but also, you know, it all ends with Walt Disney being an extreme racist and a pervert.
Well, maybe that too. But let me tell you what I do have. I don't have any fun facts. But
you did mention speed runs, and you already mentioned Lay Hulk, so I'm excited.
I got speed runs and I got pricing. You want speed runs first, brother?
Oh yeah, speed runs.
There's a lot of speed runs on this.
Okay. Hang on. Is Lay Hulk number 1?
There is a speed run for the easy, normal, and hard, and a speed run for the co-op. Lay Hulk is on one of them.
Okay, that's all that matters.
Now I can't remember. And
you told me that Lay Hulk made a tutorial, and if Lay Hulk isn't on a speed run, Lay Hulk is dead to me.
Well, Lay Hulk looked like a cool young dude from France in the video I seen as he was streaming.
Oh, you actually got a video?
Yes. Now Lay Hulk is probably... I didn't get to meet him personally.
But you saw him on YouTube, which is amazing.
Well, it was like in the bottom on the speed run when you like click on it, you
Yeah.
can actually see the speed run on the stuff that's uploaded. Mind you, we don't know nothing about games. We don't know nothing about Super Nintendo. We sure as hell don't know nothing about damn speed runs. No. Lay Hulk may be the GOAT, and we have no idea who he is. Other than, I was thinking...
So it is a he.
It is a he. Okay. Nothing what you would imagine. Dude that looks way cooler than us. Probably makes his whole living doing this, you know.
Okay.
So... he was doing tutorials. There was quite a few tutorials for this, so I feel like this game now.
If there's quite a few, this game's got to be pretty popular amongst the crew.
Lay Hulk, even though I like to think of him as a French Hulk.
Yeah, same here.
He is from France, or that's the flag says he's from France. 4 months ago, he set the speed run on easy.
Okay.
So, and I will say the community looked like there was a lot of forums on like how to defeat Pete without knocking his helmet off. And like there was a lot of tips on how to get past certain enemies, you know, or like certain like, so people have really broke this game down.
Yeah.
So 4 months ago, Lay Hulk, the Frenchie, he set the easy speedrun record at 18 minutes and 31 seconds. Now, I didn't play easy, but
I kept it on normal.
I would think that easy, that's still a lot of game to cover in 18 minutes. So I feel like that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Now, the person who did normal and hard is from Brazil.
Okay.
And the name is Zekinoma, I guess. Zekinoma. Zekinoma.
Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever he is, he's a badass because he set the normal and hard speed run. So Lay Hulk did 1831 on easy.
Okay.
Zekinoma did 20 minutes and 42 seconds on normal.
Damn.
And 23 minutes and 1 second on hard.
Shit.
So I'm sitting here and I'm like, and I'm kind of amazed because like a lot of some of these games, you know, there's like one person that's did this or maybe two. And then I'll look up at the tab. There's a speed run for the co-op.
Yeah.
And the co-op was owned the easy, normal, and hard by the same folks.
Oh, shit.
So I'm trying to think of like one of these like Olympic duos that never like.
Yeah.
It's one of those that they just goaded all over.
They never seen the sun.
Yes. Like all they do.
This is what they live.
Yes. They live, eat, drink, sleep. Now, there were people on the forums saying, hey, I'm looking for a partner to attempt a speed run. Now, this was years ago.
Let's do it, George!
No, I do not want to play this game again. But they set the co-op record slower than Lay Hulk. They did the easy in 18 minutes, 47 seconds. Slower than Zekinoma, 22 minutes, 09 seconds in medium. And 24 minutes, 38 seconds on hard. And they were both from Puerto Rico.
Ooh. Some somewhat U.S.
I'm trying to read my handwriting here.
Your redneck hieroglyphs?
Yes, so I apologize if I don't, but the names do not sound Puerto Rican. Not that I know like 5 Puerto Rican folks, so I don't know what traditional Puerto Rican name is, but Just Lee Belmont was the name of the first guy.
Okay.
And Johnny Lou is what I have wrote. It's either Johnny Lou or Johnny Zoo. I'm pretty sure it's Johnny Lou that I wrote down here. So they're pretty much, they run the town on co-op speed runs there. And I mean, they were literally 16 seconds above Lay Hulk, about a minute and a half over Zekinoma and medium, and about a minute and a half on hard. So I feel like you still got to be pretty damn good. Like, even though they were slower than the normal folks.
Oh, yeah. They knew what they were doing. Okay.
So let's talk about pricing.
You sure you don't want to do a speed run?
I do not want to do a speed run.
You don't want to attempt a speed run?
I do not want to do. Now, I leaned on this one because when I was going through, eBay was pissing me off between this name change on this game.
Oh, God. I didn't even think of that.
So every time I'm trying to look this game up, I feel like it was trying to give me the wrong one. Then I find out the game name change. I just went to price charting, and I stuck with what they told me on this.
Okay. So I only got to guess one.
You've only got to guess one.
Okay.
And I feel that just from the previous price charting that this is probably accurate. I can see the price charting on this game. On a loose copy, Josh, what would you pay for this game?
I'd say $13.
$13. That's pretty strong. You're a little low. Little
low? Okay, then I'd call it an even 15.
Well, you were low, I guess, not a little low. A loose copy is normally around $21.90.
See, I was thinking of 20.
You know, I've played worse games for $20. I've played worse modern games for $20. So,
yeah.
Even though I think this is probably a good, to me, it's a $10 game.
It's a solid 10.
I could understand somebody wanting to pay $21.09. You're going to get your money's worth.
Yeah.
A complete copy, you know what it costs? I think your equation you normally use is probably accurate on this. How much do you multiply your loose copies for a complete?
I normally multiply it by 3. So that would put it up to 60.
I thought you multiplied by 4.
4 is from complete to new.
Pull your calculator out.
Okay.
Look up $21.90 and times it by 4. I want to see how close that is.
$21.90 times 4, that's $87.60.
A complete copy is going for about $83.89.
Okay.
So it's right
so
there.
So that math would have worked on that one.
Yes. So now what do you think? A crisp new copy.
Well, like I said, normally I times it by 4 by this point, but at the same time, now I don't know. So I want to say close to $250.
You're low.
I'm low? Okay, hang on. I'm going to do the math. So it was 87.
$83.89 was a complete copy.
83.89.
Mind you, we're talking about new copy of a game that's how many years old? 30 years old?
Yeah.
So, you know, who knows? With that being Disney, with it being Capcom, you know, you put all the factors in.
Well, my math comes out to $335.56.
You're pretty damn close. I feel like you've got an equation here. A new copy sells for $365 on the dollar. So literally, if you took your loose copy and multiplied by 4, you got pretty close.
And
you multiply the complete
by 4, you get really close. You get close again.
So if I offered you this game, if you had this game, you bought it, you could have the game for $22, or I give you $10 cash for it. If you had this game and I gave you $10 cash, would you take it? would you keep that in your collection?
I'd keep it. I really would.
I could see that.
I would try to convince my kids to play it.
I wouldn't sell it for $10 because I feel like that's what it's worth.
Yeah.
And at the same time, $21, I'm not going to argue with it. I ain't going to split hairs. It's a good game.
It is. It's a solid game. I said, I couldn't convince my kids to play it because, like I said, they're tired of my bullshit. So
well, we can only go up from some of the games. They should have played the Untouchables.
No, they wouldn't.
Well, it only gets better from there.
That's true. I should have told them, look, no matter what game you play after this, it will be better.
And that's true. Like, Obidus was pretty bad. And Roger Clemens was really bad. And it's just like, they were really bad, A, and Untouchables was super bad, B. I hope the Untouchables is the worst game we play out of all of them. Because I could not stand to play a game any worse than that.
I agree, but, I mean, I'm looking at this thing like a tier list. You know, you have your S all the way down to F. Untouchables is an F across the board. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we'll get something that's just as bad or even worse.
Okay, so you're gonna have to tell me where you got this guy at. So we're gonna run through. I'm gonna go 1 through 15. I'm gonna hammer through them here, so you ain't got to listen to me go for 20 minutes on these games.
Can
Josh,
you read your handwriting?
I can read every bit of it. You cannot, can you?
No, I can't.
I know you can't read mine. I wrote yours neat. I wrote mine normal.
Yeah, no, I can't.
So Josh's top 14, going on 15, from in ascending order from 1 to 14 is Family Feud, number 1, Super Putty, Jeopardy Sports, True Lies, Fatal Fury, Time Slip, Mr. Nuts, Bram Stoker's Dracula, Roger Clemens, No Escape, Dragon View, Kid Cleats, Obidus, and the Untouchables. Looking at this list, do you know where you're going to put?
I know where I'm wanting to put it.
Right now, I don't know where it is for me.
I know where I want to put it. And again, I really want to do a re-ranking of this stuff eventually. Because, to me, okay, so just looking at my list right here, you know, personally, the way I'm trying to do this is my Rushmore, you know, I don't want the same type of game on my Rushmore. You know, you don't want like Contra 1, Contra 2, Mega Man. You don't want a shooter on all 4.
If you make 3 games and sequels like that, or 3 shooters, and that's the best damn games, put them on there. I'm going for it's like when you go to the NFL draft, you get the best available, whether you need them or not. Whether you need 3 running backs, if that's the best guy, you pick it.
I did that this year, and it bit me in the ass, and it bit you in the ass.
Well, I didn't say I was right. I'm just saying that's what you do.
So, that's it.
I can't beat the Cloud Boss. What the hell do you think? You're going to listen to me?
So, me personally, this game is by far better than Mr. Nuts at number 7. And I would like to put it up here. And I'm going to put it at number 3.
You're bumping down Jeopardy Sports and putting, what's the name of this game, Josh? Can you tell me what it is?
The Great Circus Mystery of Mickey and Minnie.
You know what? That needs to be on the negative part, is the name of this game.
It does, because it actually took me a minute to think of it.
I'm just going to call it Mickey and Minnie Circus.
That's fine. I'm fine with that.
So you're saying that Family Feud and Super Putty is better than Mickey and Minnie's, but Jeopardy Sports, True Lies, Fatal Fury is going to fall. So what's the third face on Mount Rushmore? I couldn't tell you.
Like, I mean, you got George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Theodore Roosevelt, and
Mickey Mouse, apparently, right?
Yeah, I don't know who is the third. Is it James Adams?
I don't know.
I gotta look it up now.
You're gonna have to look it up, because I feel like the third one, it would be the starting left or right, would be 1 through 3. Hard hitting analysis going on here.
George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt in that order.
So Mickey and Minnie is basically Abraham Lincoln for you.
That's not correct. They just lied to me because it's George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and then Abraham Lincoln.
Damn Teddy Roosevelt, get the hell out of there. Nikki's hanging out with Honest Dave. All right. So my list, and I'm really got a gut check on this. 1 through 15, the best being Jeopardy Sports. It goes True Lies, Mr. Nuts, Dragon View, Time Slip, Family Feud. I had trouble reading that one. No Escape, Dracula, Super Putty, Fatal Fury, Kid Cleats, Obidus, Roger Clemens, and undoubtedly the Untouchables. Spoiler alert, Untouchables still, they're number 15 now.
They're staying at 15.
My problem is, I'm really in a re-rank situation. I did enjoy this game. I feel like it may have been better than Mr. Nuts. Mr. Nuts, the levels were too long.
The music got very repetitive.
I feel like this game was too short. The levels were short. I feel like this game was better than Mr. Nuts, but I got Mr. Nuts above Dragon View, and I don't think it's better than Dragon View.
See, I said, well, we need to re-rank him because now we got more stuff to go off of.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you, I'm putting Mickey and Minnie, I'm dropping them to my number 5 spot between Dragon View and Time Slip. And it's tough. I like Time Slip, but Time Slip was unplayable without cheating for me. Like putting in a cheat for a god mode, for weapons. And
I get that. I get that.
So I'm going to go ahead and put Mickey and Minnie Circus right in between. And when I'm thinking about it, I'm sitting here thinking I'd rather have the longer levels of Mr. Nuts as the Mickey and Minnie until you mentioned the music. And I did hate the music and Mr. Nuts. It did get old pretty quick.
It got old very quick because it didn't really change. Like, as the level progresses, the music stayed the same.
I can definitely say this game, I think, at the end of the day, when we go through all the games, will be in the top 50%. Like, it was a good game. Like, and when you're talking the top 50, you got to realize how many sucky games there are out there.
Yeah.
I did enjoy it, but there's nothing else.
Anybody that had basic computer programming knowledge at that time could have made a Nintendo game.
Well, that is true. And so you can definitely tell there's a production value to this one. There's some money behind it. Probably hit a little different in 94 for me than it does now. In 94, I probably have it farther up the list, but I think I'm happy where it's at. I think Dragon View is a better game. I think it's a better game than Time Slip. The one thing, though, is I think some of these games, like Time Slip, isn't going to be for everybody. I think anybody could play this game and it'd be fun. I think that's one of the strengths of this game.
Yeah, I agree. Because, I mean, for one, I think it was more made for the kids of the era. It wasn't made for adults, so therefore that makes it easy.
Well, I don't think at that time that it was as mainstream of people. Like now, you got people from 80 to 8 years old gaming. Back then, I think it was pretty much, video games, that's a kid thing. Anyway.
Exactly. So. That's what I'm saying, is that, I mean, no, you did have a few people that were out there that were, got hot and heavy into it and never gave it up. So.
I'm happy where we got this one ranked. So, just going to toss this one out there. We got a re-rank episode coming up.
All right. I'm all for it.
So, we got 15 games in. We also got to draw the next game. So I think we're just going to go ahead and wrap it up here and figure out what we're going to play next and then figure out where we've been wrong at.
I agree with that.
All right, well, we're going to see you next week.
See you later.